like button. Sub to the channel if you're not a member. Hit the notifications too to get all of my content. Hope everybody feeling all right this morning. On the ones and twos, you know how I do. Shout out to the whole entire Lions Den basketball and boxing communities, and shout out to all of my subs that's been rocking with me day ones, 10 toes down, and as well as the new subs too as well. I appreciate y'all love and support. Got a few things to talk about. And we gonna get into it. Ted, what's up with it? Man, the brother Cypress up in here, man. I definitely, man, you gotta be in here, man. We gotta talk about this, man. You already know what I'm finna talk about, Cypress. You already know what I'm finna talk about, man. But you gotta stay with it, man. You be falling asleep, bro. All right, so okay. I want to give a shout out to the brother Charleston over there at Dreamers Pro. Definitely go sub to Dreamers Pro. Puts out a lot of great content. Stay on his grind or whatever, and always giving a great perspective when it comes to basketball as well as other things too as well. So shout out to Dreamers Pro. Ted, I see you in here, bro. All right, listen. Stephen A. Smith, man. Of course, man, he's making right now. He's making $12 million a year, and they're offering Stephen A. Smith $90 million, which of course is going to make him. He's already considered the face of the network, but it's also going to make him the highest paid analyst for the network right now. But Stephen A. Smith, where his problem lies is that in terms of First Take and the Pat McAfee show, although the Pat McAfee show is doing well and it's generating a lot of consumption, First Take is still beating the Pat McAfee show and pulling in ratings by a pretty substantial margin. Now, Stephen A. Smith, his whole argument is in terms of he wants to get $25 million a year. They offered him $18 million a year. Okay, they offered Stephen A. Smith $18 million a year as opposed to $25 million a year. Now, I'm looking at it from a business perspective. Everybody can say what they want about Stephen A. Smith. Of course, I've been critical of Stephen A. Smith all the time. I don't like the way he coons, butt dance, all that other stuff. His style is it's like he doesn't care. He doesn't mind playing the villain, even if he has to go ahead and sit there and act like the victim either. But I'm not trying to get into no personal stuff. Let's talk about the business now. I agree with Stephen A. Smith. I agree with Stephen A. Smith. I agree with Stephen A. Smith. He should get more money because now, don't get me wrong, he's not the only one that's pulling in the audience, because we have to look at Shannon Sharpe and the work that he's been doing. Okay, Shannon Sharpe is pulling in his audience, especially when because Shannon Sharpe never stopped working. Okay, so Shannon Sharpe is generating, a lot of ratings and stuff like that, because you got to realize he took a lot of that audience that came from Undisputed over to First Take, which quite naturally a lot of the people watch both of the shows. But then you also have that audience, that other audience that is coming from outside of First Take, that's watching the Nightcap and watching Club Shay Shay and other things. And of course, Shannon Sharp is known for football too as well. So you got that audience, but then there's a whole nother dynamic. Now we also got to look at the evolution of Eminem, Monica McNutt. Monica McNutt, she's a beautiful woman. She's a beautiful melanated black sister. You know what I'm saying? She's eye candy, but also at the same token, she's on her shit too as well. Cause that time she cooked Stephen A. Smith and everything, that generated a lot of buzz, and people like that. Okay, stay with me now. And then also you got to look at the WNBA is starting to brew again. Even though the WNBA, the ratings aren't they're not going as high as people had expected it to. You said she's fine and knows her basketball. Yeah, and people like that. People get sick of Molly Qerim always giving her 2 cents. That's why other people, they listen. The problem is the analysts. Believe it or not, it's not Stephen A. Smith, because people actually wanted. If Stephen A. Smith did leave the show, and I know this is going to be hard for some people to swallow right here, okay? Y'all ready for it? If Stephen A. Smith left First Take, the ratings would drop. The ratings will drop. And that's because they want a villain. At one point, Skip Bayless was that villain. They gotta have a villain on there. You gotta have a heel. They gotta have somebody on there to combat everybody else. You gotta have a contrarian on there. You gotta have a contrarian on there that don't make no sense a lot of times. And that's what Stephen A. Smith did. I'm pretty sure you do. That means you like a bitch with fake titties and fake ass and got all this fucking acupuncture and all this stuff on her face and stuff like that, man. Looking like that bitch off of what's that? I'ma Get You Sucker. She up in there, man. Yeah, she look all good in the club, but then she taking off her nails. She taking out the eye. She pulling off her wig. She taking off her leg. You know what I'm saying? She missing the arm and everything. You know what I'm saying? She pulling all that off, man. The only thing left, man, you know what I'm saying? She on one leg. You know what I'm saying? Probably got, she taking out the butt implants, taking out all that stuff. Yeah, you can go ahead and have that on fake shit. That's all you gonna be sucking on is silicone. Ain't nothing real. I like Monica McNutt. I like a natural. You know what I'm saying? And you ought to be ashamed of yourself. If you like that, go ahead and go to L.A. You might as well go to L.A. You like them old Jeannie Buss looking girls and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Them old Playboy. You know what I'm saying? Ain't natural. Everything is nip and tuck, man. You know what I'm saying? You like that old Kim Kardashian looking, all that. Nah, you got, man, hey, Monica McNutt, she homegrown, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that nigga cypher like all that, you know what I'm saying? All that, all that surgery and all that stuff, you know what I'm saying? Put like 40 pounds of makeup on and stuff, looking like Ronald McDonald and shit. Goddamn lipstick look like she done kissed paint and stuff like that. Man, come on, man. Like, you gotta have a natural female. You see Monica McNutt, she don't need to do all that. And she's still fine, and she athletic looking too. But anyways, I ain't gonna get into that. Now, I'm just messing with Cypher, man. Alright, so to get back to what I was saying, see, now I don't blame Stephen A. Smith for wanting that money, though. You know what I'm saying? But there's other people around him that have led the charge with him in terms of bringing in a lot more ratings and being able to compete with the Pat McAfee show as a whole. And of course, he, you know, whether you like it or not, he is the face of ESPN. Now, the flip side to that, though, there is a flip side to everything, right? There's a flip side to all of this, okay? Mind making your boss, you want to get up, trying to make your bosses more money, trying to generate more money. That statement that you said, that's always going to be in the back of their mind. And when you a token Negro like that, they going to take advantage of your ass. Or they going to try to lowball you. Now, you do have the Stephen A. show, but it's not doing as well as Club Shay Shay and some of the other shows. It's somewhat competitive, but that's only when you get on something and you do something controversial. Like when you do the Kyrie Irving apology. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of people out there, you know, that are seeking that type of conversation, or, you know, when you do that sort of thing. But you saw what everybody else was doing in terms of YouTube. But then, you know, Shannon Sharp, you saw the numbers with what he was doing or whatever. That's why you didn't mind bringing him over there to ESPN. And let's just be honest, Shannon Sharp made it pop. Pause. He made ESPN popping. Like, he made First Take popping, like, you know, soaring in terms of the numbers. There was a real big increase when he came over there. And then you also got to realize it's a lot of entertainment surrounding Shannon Sharp, because you know, Shannon Sharp was the butt of memes, whether they're good memes, whether they're fruity memes and all this other stuff. It's still a meme. It's still people on social media. It's still people making skits about it, stuff like that. Well, people are going to tune in for that. Then on top of that, he got Club Shay Shay. It's not bothering him. All the memes and stuff like that they make fun of him and stuff like that, it's just having people watch Stephen A. I'm sorry about that, Shannon Sharp. So people are going to tune in. They're going to tune in to controversy regardless. Now, don't get me wrong, Stephen A. Smith, you've had your controversy and stuff like that, but it hasn't been a very well liked controversy, which is still good. Good clout and bad clout. Clout is still good. You said the best. What was the best show on ESPN? You said Mike and Mike. I mean, that was. I like Greeny Man and of course the other Mike. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know, man. They, like, to me, I don't know, man. Like, they were a good show and everything, but they were leaning. They didn't talk about a lot of basketball like they should have. They were, and listen, don't get me wrong, I like football, but it was like they would talk about basketball just a little bit. It was like Greeny wanted to talk about, come on, man. Greeny wanted to talk about basketball more than the other Mike. And, you know, when you have a thing like that. Now, see, you got to be like a Keyshawn you got to be like a Keyshawn and be willing to learn other, like other sports and go down another avenue. That's what you got to appreciate about a guy like Jay Williams. Like Jay Williams, while he's all on basketball, played for Duke, played in the NBA, everything like that. Jay Williams knows football. And even you see Paul Pierce, he'll try to mix it up. At least you try. You try to mix it up with other sports. That's why, like, my nigga Cypress, shout out to Cypress. We be clowning each other all the time, but Cypress can talk about like, my nigga Cypress, like, if I brought Cypress on the panel, he'll be able to mix it up and talk about not only basketball, he can talk about football, he can talk about boxing. He can talk about, life issues and everything like that. And you can't be one-dimensional. And that's what the problem was with the other Mike. He always wanted to talk about football so much. And you got to be able to talk about other stuff. Like on this channel, like if you notice, we're not just talking about just basketball or just one goddamn person. Like right now, we ain't just finna just talk about just basketball. I mean, we're going to touch on basketball right now. But I'm finna get into some other stuff too. So, and that's what you need. That's what you need. And to Stephen A. Smith, whether you like him or not, he tends to do that. Now he tends to do that. Now he might not know as much in terms of boxing and stuff like that, like say a Max Kellerman or something like that. But you could tell he has some knowledge of it. And then when it comes to football, of course he's not gonna know more than like a guy like Ryan Clark or somebody like that, but he's able to have a conversation, with some of those guys. Yeah, cold pizza. But see, that's the thing. A lot of people, that's where you go back to Skip. If it weren't for Skip, a lot of the debate shows wouldn't be happening, and you hate to give him credit, but if it wasn't for Skip, Stephen, a lot of people don't really understand, but if it wasn't for Skip, Stephen A. Smith, his career wouldn't be how it is. You know what I'm saying? I hate to say that, and you hate to admit that, but it's the truth. Because Skip was the one that gave Stephen A. Smith his opportunity. Skip was the one that, now don't get me wrong, they got the natural God-given ability to talk and to debate and do all that other stuff, even though, a lot of times they be getting fried, because I'm pretty sure anybody in the in the LDBC would come over there and cook all of them. Man, listen, if I put anybody in there, if I'm willing to put my money, if I put Two Raw in the seat against any of them motherfuckers, man, they would lose their career. Their career would be over. If I put Ticket in the seat with any of them, their career would be over. If I put LBZ in the seat with them, man, not only would their career be over, their image, they would be in hiding for a good 2 years. If you know what I'm saying, if you put the brother 78 or Brandon Love or Kareem or any of these other guys that truly know basketball, not just going over there going on a script or some bullshit, they'd lose their license. They would lose their livelihood. I'm sorry, I said license. They would lose their livelihood. They'd be like, man, man, we want a nigga like Cypress on there. Nah, man, we gotta have Cypress on there. We don't want that everyday casual bullshit. And that's what I mean. That's what ESPN is. That's why they come over here and they be stealing from everybody. And it's not just us. It's not just the guys in the LVPC, man. Hey, I'm quite sure that they might some of these news, these other outlets and stuff like that, like they'll go to other sources, like my homie, like the homie Cypress. They'll go to his shit, trying to see, what's going on in Memphis and what's going on in the streets and stuff like that, because they don't know what's really truly going on unless you go pop in on a live, or they'll go to the Brother Player Code to find out what's truly going on in hip hop and regurgitate what he say and try to flip it around and all that other shit. Or they'll go to Tamara page. Shout out to Real Talk with Tamara. They'll go to her page because she got, intel on a lot of shit and then regurgitate that shit. You know what I'm saying? Speaking of the angel, I ain't gonna call him a devil. The brother B Love, Brandon Love Sports is in the house. I know you're disappointed, bro, but you gotta give it you gotta give it a chance with JJ, man. You gotta give it a chance, man. Hey, Brandon. Hey, what if JJ end up making the Western Conference Final? Will you get on your live and give him his props, my man? Yeah, hey, Brandon Love, man, if the Lakers make the finals, my niggas. Hey, Brandon, will you get on there and will you say, JJ, we sticking with JJ? Because I want to see this, but shout out to Brandon, man. Nah, man, Brandon ain't the only one. He feels like a lot of my cousins, because I got a lot of cousins and uncles that are Lakers fans, and they're like, what the hell? And they know damn well Kobe didn't even like JJ. I give him his props, but we all know it ain't gonna happen. Yeah, I know, man. I know. Hey, y'all hit the like, man. But yeah, man. The thing about it is Brandon, man, and Ted and Cypress, man. I always try to remain optimistic, man. I try to have some sort of optimism. Like I was kind of skeptical about Nick Nurse. But the thing about it, I had to realize that Nick Nurse was a champion. Nick Nurse for Philly. I mean, he was a champion and stuff. And I kind of underrated Nick Nurse a little bit, but I didn't truly appreciate his coaching like I should have. So I went back and I studied Toronto and what some of the things that he was doing. That's what made me draw the conclusion that, okay, I had to remember that it wasn't just Kawhi Leonard on that Toronto team. He had a very team-oriented type of offense, and that was predicated on everybody that could do a number of things on defense. You got to think about it. We played a better defense than we did the previous season. He even Maxey had even stepped it up on defense, and he was already pretty good at playing the passing lane. So I just try to remain optimistic. Hey, you talking all this X's and O's stuff because Brandon was a coach. Brandon knows. I have a respect for coaches because I'm a trainer myself. I'm a personal trainer myself. I have a respect for coaches, guys that are coaching, you know what I'm saying, at any level. You have to have some sort of experience. Well, I know he might have coached his son and all that other stuff, but that's completely different. At that age, them kids don't know anything yet. Their minds ain't even developed. You are going into a situation where you're with grown men who have families, who have been through life already, who have had some life curveballs, who are dealing with the bullshit, who are disgruntled, who don't have faith in you, who have a concept of what life is, who somewhat know the business. They, these guys are stubborn. These guys are cocky. These guys are competitive. These guys don't want you to have one up. Some of these guys don't like authority. They don't like to be told what to do. That's the situation that you're walking into when you are a coach. And I'm talking about in the NBA. This ain't college. It's not high school. It's not middle school. What's up, Matt? I see you in the building. Man, yeah, right. What? Then she must be way taller than you. What you dating? You dating a stallion? Hey, Matt said he got a six-fold model on his arm. He got a six-fold yellow bone on his arm now. All right, let's talk about this Caruso trade. The Caruso trade, it made sense. I know a lot of fans of Chicago are like, what is Chicago doing? Josh Giddy and all this other stuff. But the reason why the Caruso trade was very valuable, and I want to give a shout out to the brother Cypress TV because he was the one that first reported it on my channel. So shout out to Cypress TV. He was the one that first reported it. It makes sense because OKC needs championship experience on their roster. Okay, these guys are young, and and you got to think about it. Caruso is what they need. They need a guy. They need a Swiss Army knife. Don't get me wrong. SGA played defense. Chet Holmgren, while he played defense, he got to get a little bit stronger. But of course, they want him to be on the defense. And then, of course, you got McDaniel out there. He could play. He could play both ends. But see, the versatility of Caruso was very important. One can argue that when it came to the Lakers, Caruso was a very vital piece to winning that championship. When you had a Caruso, when you had a Rondo, when you had a KCP, those guys like that, those guys can do it all. When you have multiple guys like that, and particularly when we talk about Caruso and KCP, out on a perimeter like that, who can run the floor, don't mind giving it up to like LeBron, or giving it up to somebody that could catch it from anywhere, you know what I'm saying, and throw it down or something like that, or they don't mind, you know what I'm saying, not having the ball. They just want to make sure that it's a good possession, it's a plus instead of a minus on the floor. Man, I'll take that guy in a heartbeat. You have to be able to manage personnel. Plus, you got to know how to conduct team meetings. Yep. This dude is gonna fail miserably, and I'm gonna laugh at him and Brian. Yeah, we'll have to see, man. We'll have to see. I mean, look, my thing is this. Let's see what he can do. You talked all that trash on you talk all this trash, on as an analyst, talking about plumbers, talking about cable men, talking about firemen and all that other stuff, disrespecting the old school ones that come before. Because if you talk about firemen, you talk about plumbers, you talk about cable men and electricians and all that other stuff. Well, you talk about Will Chamberlain, you talk about Hal Greer, you talk about Jerry West, you talk about Bill Walsh, you talk about Bill Russell, you talk about Artis Gilmore, you talk about Oscar Robertson, you talk about Dr. J. You know what I'm saying? You talk about Bob Cooley, you talk about Dave Cowell, you talk about David Thompson. You know what I'm saying? You talk about DJ. You know what I'm saying? Dennis Johnson, late great Dennis Johnson. You talk about Lenny Wilkins. You're disrespecting everybody. We talk about the 60s, you talk about the 70s, you know what I'm saying? You talk about the 50s, you disrespected George Michael. You disrespected Paul Arizin. You disrespecting everybody up on there. So, you know what I'm saying? Let's see what you can do. And then we'll see if you would have been able to coach plumbers, electricians, you know what I'm saying, cab drivers, and all this other nonsense that you said. You said move SGA to the 2 and play Caruso together. Well, he played the 1 and the 2. Site. He plays a 1 and a 2. Yeah, I know. I know, man. I know about that, Matt. Yeah, but that OKC were tired of. They did not want to deal with that. They didn't want to deal with that anymore. They didn't want to deal with that headache anymore. They did not want to deal with that headache anymore. And now you got a guy like Caruso who all he wants to do is just smoke his little weed, man, and play ball, and that's it. He's a damn good defender, man. I wanted him in Philly. But it makes sense. Now, do I see what you call winning the championship right offhand? No, but they'll be even more competitive. They actually had a chance to get it, but they did get robbed. They got OKC did get robbed, man. And the NBA admitted it. That's why the NBA, man, is disgusting for what they did. Um, Hey, the next thing I want to talk about, man, is, and I'm not gonna stay too long on this, but man, for y'all, hey, for my fellas and my females, man, hey, the HIV rate, STD rates, man, it is on fire, especially out in the South. Memphis know what I'm talking about, man. Cypress know what I'm talking about. Out in Memphis and especially out in Texas, particularly H-Town. They are going sky high. When we talk about HIV and when we talk about STDs, man, they're going at an astronomical rate. Man, it's easy to say strap up, but with everything, with the way that sex is promoted, you know what I'm saying? That's gonna be hard for some guys to do. With the way that some of these, some people make their livelihood based around it. Man, all I'm saying is, man, especially for my people, I talk to everybody, but especially my people, my black community, man, be careful, man, what you're doing out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, it's a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying? Sex is a beautiful thing, but it could also be the end. Man, don't let it be the end of your life, man, or your livelihood. Yeah, no doubt. Hey, yeah, Brandy. Yeah, man. Like, especially for the ones that are, if you out there, you in a relationship, but then you want to go dip up in some other sauce. I, that's you putting everybody else at risk. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna go into detail, but I think you know what I'm talking about. Man, watch what you do out there. You can't trust everybody, man. You know what I'm saying? Everything is going at an alarming rate. Uh, there's some people out there, walking around and they don't even know it, but they just out here, being foolish with what they do. You got to be more careful, man. Got to be more careful, man. You know what I'm saying? Man, get you that one person, you know what I'm saying? Then you ain't got to worry, but then you got to worry about that. And before you do anything, especially a female, if they don't want to get tested, if they don't want to go in there and go get tested, go get a simple STD or HIV test. Man, listen, we in 2024 now. You know what I'm saying, Brandon? Ted, Matt, Cypress, we in 2024 now. This ain't the 80s where you gotta wait all day, or you gotta wait like several weeks to get your results and all this other stuff. Nah, you could get rapid results. You can get it right there. If you nervous and all this other stuff, biting your fingernails, oh no, I got something. Nah, say I want my stuff right now. You go up in there, get up in the goddamn clinic, you know what I'm saying? Let them draw your blood, let them, do the little swab, all that other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Then done. Get your ass in the doctor, find out what's going on with your vitals, you know what I'm saying? Go find out what's going on with your blood work and all that other stuff, and be done with it. That's all they do. And then go if you concerned about the other person, y'all go to the clinic together. It's simple as that. And if they don't want to do it, then they don't have no respect for it. Don't just dip up in some pudding that you don't know about, because then you're gonna be like, oh man, I shouldn't have did that. I shouldn't have did that. Nah, it was too late. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. should have did that. Should have did that beforehand. You know what I'm saying? You got to learn to be proactive. Straight to the point. Sports and entertainment. Shouts out to the whole entire Lions Den basketball and boxing community. Until then, I'm out.